So, I was going to start 31 Days of Witchcraft. I still might. Um, but I feel that I should say something else. And I'm going to read you something I posted on Facebook. Because what's happening right now is so important. You know, we have been pushed to the edge as Americans, and people of color have been pushed so much further. And all of that is due to racism. So, let me share this story. Last summer, when Colorado was having 100 plus degree weather, I saw my neighbor and his son walking from the complex. I had seen his son around a lot. My neighbor is Puerto Rican, his son is black. His son is often seen around the complex walking their little Datsun. I knew that my neighbor's car had broken down and that he had not been able to get it fixed. Didn't know them personally. I don't think I even exchanged 2 words with the father before this. And honestly, my only words to the son had been once I caught him letting his dog poop and not picking it up, and I asked him to please pick it up, and he did. But on this day, I was driving to a writing meeting, and I saw both of them walking from the complex with backpacks on. It was over 100 fucking degrees. And I didn't care where they were going. You don't want to walk in that kind of weather. So I pulled over. My neighbor took one look at me, grabbed his son, and threw him behind his back. Because he didn't know what I was going to do. Y'all, this is one of the scariest faces people of color can see right now, I think. Not just the whole what's-her-face instead of calling the fucking cops because she was a jerk. But you don't know. And this, by those kind of actions that other white women have done, have put back feminism because of it. So I leaned out of my window that day and said, hey, where are you going? Do you want to ride? It's too fucking hot. You should not be walking in this weather. Because they weren't headed to the bus stop. And it turned out I was right. They had enough money. They needed to go buy groceries. And the dad, who was an IT professional who had lost his job and was having trouble getting another one, they only had enough money for a one-way bus trip, and they had chosen to walk to the grocery store and hopefully use the bus money for the way back. The grocery store was several miles away. Again, plus 100. There's no way. You can't. I grew up, in the mountains where most of the time the weather was bad, and I lived a mile outside of town, up the side of a mountain, and I depended on people and the kindness of strangers to give me rides all the time. So when they realized, and he apologized, I acted the way, but I said, look, you don't know what I'm doing. And we kind of joked about it, but it's true. He has no idea why some white woman's pulling over. All he could think about was protecting his son. But I took them there. I apologized that I had a meeting to go to, and I couldn't drive them back. But they were going to take the bus. But I got them to the grocery store in my nice air-conditioned car, and I said, look, this is the apartment I live in. If you guys need a ride anywhere, let me know. If I'm home, I can give you a ride. They never took me up on it. But, we need to assume good intentions. You see a black man sitting on the curb, that's just a black man fucking sitting on the curb. If he looks distressed, maybe you should ask him if he needs help. if a black man is asking you to follow the rules, maybe you should follow the fucking rules and not be a jerk. And a black man, regardless of whether or not he is caught in a crime, is innocent until proven guilty. And they should be treated well. There was no reason, what happened, Floyd should never happened. Ever. I mean, it's not the first time. But I really hope it'll be the last. But I can't say that because there's too much. Even where I live, people are talking about arming themselves and going to stop the evil protesters. Antifa is not fucking real, y'all. There are some individual people who call themselves that, but even then, you are supposed to be anti-fascist. That is what you are supposed to be. There's not a terror organization running around doing stuff. That would be white supremacists. And this shit needs to stop. And if you are pagan and you are reconstructing paganism to include racism, you are part of the problem. Assume good intentions. We need to assume good intentions. And yeah, no, I don't blame anybody. I wish, I worry about my daughter who lives in Denver and my family members who live in bigger cities. But the only way that these protests and the only way that this is going to stop is if we revamp our entire system. And right now, there's no way you can do that with the way America works. I don't have any answers. I just, the other day I took my dogs out, and the little boy who lives down the street ran away. He was just riding his scooter. I just smiled to say hi, but he didn't know. He just saw the white woman coming out with the dogs. And I hate that we live in a place where that is a reality. So yeah, Black Lives Matter. And frankly, that is the issue. Black Lives Matter.